Most people think that booking calls comes down to like a single viral post or like a really good VSL, but I can assure you it's not. It doesn't work like that. There isn't one thing that is attributed to your success. Conviction isn't built in one place. It's not from one specific piece of content. It's built in fragments across every different surface, which means like different platforms or different formats of your content over time. And one notable thing to mention is that a single piece of content doesn't carry enough conviction to move someone from cold to bot in one singular session. So in this video, I'm going to show you what the shadow funnel is, how it works, how you can use it to book 10 to 20 qualified calls per week. The shadow funnel turns scattered content into a coordinated buyer movement. And I'll show you what I mean by this. So when we think about how people think social media marketing and organic marketing works, they think that you post reels, you post carousels, you post TikToks and whatever, right? You post all these different formats, and then people go to your profile, maybe they watch a VSL or YouTube video, and then they ultimately book a call. But what you have to understand is like the conviction is built in fragments across different formats and different platforms over time. And so the reason the VSL actually worked is because they were already established and already iterated over so many fragments of content and got so much exposure of you. So the VSL did like the last 20% and converted, right? And so like when we think about like the naive way of making money with Instagram or YouTube or any content, this is what it looks like. You post content, you post reels, you post carousels, they go to your profile, they click the link in your bio, they get routed to YouTube or VSL, and then ultimately they book a call. That's again, the naive way, but what they're not taking into account is the work that is happening above stream, up layer. And so what does it actually look like? A buyer's movement in the service economy online with Instagram and, YouTube and Threads, like this is what it looks like, okay? On a Tuesday, someone's gonna see your reel. Maybe they'll go to your profile and then they'll follow you and click off. And then the next day you post a carousel, they go back to your profile. Maybe they click on the link and they go to your YouTube and they start watching some YouTube content and then they click off. And then a week goes by, they see some of your stories, and then maybe your story was enticing enough for them to actually swipe up and DM you. And so they look at your story, they go to your Instagram DMs, you have a conversation, you set them, and then you book a call. Or maybe they're coming from Threads, right? And they go to your profile from Threads, they check out some of your carousels, your reels, your stories, they click off, they wait 2 weeks, and then your carousel ultimately is like super thought-provoking. Maybe it's a conversion carousel, right? And then ultimately you DM them or they DM you, and then you book a call. So like there isn't a linear way that a buyer moves through this organically. Like, let me ask you a question. Have you ever sat down, scrolled through reels, clicked on an ad, watched the VSL in its entirety, scheduled a call, and then bought without knowing who that person was? The answer is most likely no. You've never done that. There's no way you've done that. I haven't done that. I don't know anyone who's ever done that in my life. That's just not how the buyer movement works. They always will have some level of exposure to you before buying. Again, the VSL and the YouTube, like the deep conviction YouTube or the deep conversion YouTube, this is doing the bottom half. This is like the last 20% that they need in order to book a call if they were to go that route. And this is the whole premise of the shadow funnel. Is like you have to coordinate the buyer movement within each of these categories to make sure that every single surface, the threads, the reels, the carousels, is doing a specific function so that the choice becomes completely obvious, and like no matter what way they go, you can still convert them. Okay, like this is the whole point of the shadow funnel. Is like it doesn't matter what path they take, the surfaces that they're landing on are optimized and serve specific functions so that they can convert, right? Like that is the whole point of what the shadow funnel is. It is optimizing the entire, every single layer, its functions and its services. And then you can ask like, oh, Trevor, like where does ads come into this? Ads is an amplification layer to these three. And then you could also run ads for YouTube if you want. But like what it does is it amplifies the functions of these. And the cool part about the shadow funnel is like with the functions of these, and I'll get into the functions in a second, the functions of the reels, the functions of the carousels, the functions of the stories, like you already know what works. And so like you're literally shipping ads that you know work. And like the reason that the shadow funnel produces revenue more reliably than like post level or profile level conversion frameworks is that it matches how buyers actually move and make decisions. Like someone doesn't see one piece of content and then decide to spend 5 to 20K on like consulting or something. That decision is built across multiple different touch points over weeks or months, with the buyer essentially by accumulating evidence about your expertise. And so that's the key difference with how this funnel works compared to something similar to like something like this, like the naive funnel is what I call it. Real quick, who am I? Why should you even listen to me? I got 415 cumulative organic views with my identical twin brother. I made $135,000 in 3.5 months. I consistently make $40,000 per month. My clients win and they also get reach, and I help people do the same. So that was a little bit about me. I know like it's super quick, but like this is, if you're new here, you need to see something like that. And I would recommend you do the same. And so what are the functions? What are the functions of the reels? What are the functions of the carousels, the stories? Like what do those have in common? Like how do you use those to your advantage? Okay, so let's get into it. And so within this, you have 4 different functions. Like every single piece of content is going to get categorized in one of these 4 functions. So it's attract, orient, prove, and convert. And when you're attracting someone, this is like pure top of funnel reach, right? The job is to stop the scroll and pull the stranger in. Are you worth the attention? Like you're not trying to sell, you're not showing proof. It's pure attention. This is broad reach-based stuff that is applicable to as many people as possible. And then you can orient people, which is the orient function. Is this for me? Like, is this page even for me or something that I align with, right? So this helps the right person recognize their problem, the outcome they want, and that you're built for them. Next, you're gonna prove. You need to prove within your content. Can they help me? So you turn interest into trust by reducing the buyer uncertainty and the perceived risk. And then you convert. Right? Should I act now? You likely already know what conversion content is. Like, should I act now? Right? Like you're posting CTAs, you're doing lead magnets. Like that is something that you are probably over-indexed on completely. And I see it all the time with the clients that I work with. They're so over-indexed on conversion content that no one ever knows who they are. They never attract people and they never orient them. And they'll do some proof, but most of the content that they're posting is conversion content. They're like super, super specific. And this is where everyone goes wrong. And like all the advice from business coaches goes wrong is like, you got to be more specific in your content. You got to be more specific. It's like, okay, you're hyper specific. And then you're only talking to like 2 people. You never end up attracting like adjacent people who are in the niche, within the umbrella niche. Truly think about it like a funnel. Like you attract them and then you orient them. Is this for me? And then you prove that you can help them and then you convert them. Like that's how it works. And so these functions map to specific surfaces. There are some sub functions in here. It's like educate, desire build, nurture, objection handle, re-engage. Within these functions, like these surfaces have dominant like primary things that they do. And so like the attracting function is primarily living in reels. Like you can also attract people in carousels because carousels now are getting really pushed, and you can also attract them through threads or even YouTube, but those aren't the primary functions. The primary surface for attracting people is your reels. And then you have carousels, which are like really like the workhorse. They can do pretty much all of these. They can attract, orient, prove, and convert. And then stories primarily prove and convert. Threads is a different sort of thing, and I'll get into that in a second. And then YouTube is most of the time conversion content. YouTube is also really interesting because it can pretty much do all of this, right? Like you can get reach on YouTube, and then it can orient people, and you can prove it, and you can literally do this all in one singular video. You probably have a couple questions like, how do you be authentic in this type of strategy? Or like, how do you be authentic in these functions? Or it's so easy. Like you literally just be yourself. You have perspectives on the world. You have unique experiences that you can relay to your audience in your unique way. Okay. And so that's the whole point of the personal brand, is that no one else is like you. And then you're probably asking like, but Trevor, why does this beat the top, middle, and bottom of funnel? Like stages. Like if you were to think about the stages of like someone who is going throughout that journey, they're like, oh, it's top of funnel content, middle of funnel content, bottom of funnel content. This is completely different. So stage models tell you where the buyer is. Function models tell you what the content should do. And so a single carousel can attract, orient, and prove all at once. And like planning by the function of the post is just more actionable. It's like if I look at a piece of content, it's like, okay, this should probably be an attracting, especially if it's on like my YouTube schedule or my Instagram posting schedule. And we literally have all of this mapped out, like a weekly posting cadence that you should be doing. And so the interesting part here is like, it's slightly more complex than the naive funnel that I mentioned. And that's why most people can't do this, is because it's a little bit more complicated. It requires like a certain IQ level, I would say. Versus if you were running the naive funnel, you would literally just like post content and like hope that someone lands in your DMs or hope that you get a notification that a call got booked. It's like, we all wish it was that easy, but it's not. And so like let's look at some practical examples of like what the functions and what the type of contents look like. And so this is my attract content, like 1.9 million views, a million views, 375K. Like this is just pure attract. Like this is broad. It's within the umbrella of entrepreneurship and mindset and discipline and all the stuff and all the character traits that entrepreneurs have. This is it. This is how I get attention to my profile. You could also orient them. So like this would be an example of orient content with desire build. And so what it is, it's orienting them toward the outcome that they want and then filtering for people interested in IG monetization. And so proof, this is proof, right? Like this one system replaced 3 full-time hires. It also has like a touch of conversion, but it's not meant to attract. Like the topic is way too specific for cold mass reach. That is why you'll never see specific, hyper-specific content going super viral. You will never see it. Maybe on occasion. And this is why so many service providers are only just showing their offer. They're posting conversion content and then they wonder why they don't grow any followers. It's because they're not mapping the functions correctly. Okay? And so this is how it works. This is for Reels. And so you'll see that there's an inverse relationship between reach and function depth. And so like as you go down, right? It's like attracting is supposed to be broad. And then when you orient them, it just slowly decreases the views, okay? An example with carousels too is like you can do the same thing. And again, these are the workhorse. These are like a lot more versatile than Reels. And so you can attract, you can get a lot of views on your carousels, right? And I'm attracting that broad audience of people who are like into fitness, into working, into productivity, into online business. They have the entrepreneurship mindset. And then what do I do from here? I'm posting orient content. As you'll notice, reach drops by 10x at each level, and that's exactly right. And so like notice how, this is 85K views, and then as I go down through orient, it's like 8K and 7K, and then proof and convert are like super low. It's because it's hyper specific. It's not meant to go viral. It's meant to either live on the profile or have people who go through this. They'll find a carousel, or like they come from Threads or they come from YouTube, and then they look at carousels, and then maybe this one is one that they look at. It's really meant to live on the profile and convert them. And so with stories, it's a little bit different. I mean, again, it's a little bit lower on the function list, right? Like, so with orient, you can literally orient them too. It's like with these ones, with the systems highlights that I did. And so with the system highlights, I basically explained what I'm explaining now, just like I'm touching on it in a little bit, right? So like, this is for orienting. Is this for me? Is this something that I understand or I align with? And then you post proof with stories. And so like you can showcase client wins, client testimonials, like your own proof, your case studies, testimonials, like all this stuff, right? To show that you're an expert and you can help them. And then you also have the conversion, right? Like telling them to act now. I just made a breakdown on this, reply 7, and I'll send it over. This is the function that stories perform. And so if we go to YouTube, it's a little bit different. So like unlike Reels or carousels or like stories or anything, like a single video can move someone through all 4 functions inside one piece of content, okay? If you look at this, right, like the time in the video, you can attract them with the thumbnail and title, and then the intro is like orienting them, and then you teach, and you prove that you can do what you're doing. Ultimately, at the end, you can convert them into a book a call. And so it's a funnel in a single asset here. YouTube is, and that's why it lives a little bit differently here, right? So like, this is why you'll see 2 YouTubes, is because like YouTube can get reach, and then people can click on your Instagram and then go to your carousels, your stories, and like take all these different buyer paths, or you use it as like a deep conviction location or surface, right? So like someone coming from Reels, carousel, stories can go to your profile and then click on the link and go to YouTube. There's so many different buyer paths here. They could convert, they could go back to Instagram, go to carousels, and then back to Instagram DMs or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's so many different paths that someone takes that isn't linear. And so that's what YouTube does. Like that is the sole function of YouTube. It is a destination, and it also can do the full 4 functions. And then we have Threads. This is the single most slept on platform in the entire video. Like Threads is a feeder. It's not a funnel. It's the only place that you can put yourself in front of the exact right person on purpose for free. Like I'm literally booking, I think like 7 to 8 calls per week just from Threads. It is absolutely a superpower. Threads is a complete game changer when it comes to like outbound. So all of these strategies here, all of this is inbound, right? Threads is what we use for outbound. This is like sort of the outlier here, is because it gets both. Like you can get reach on Threads, but like you can also use it as an outbound machine. You can also use Instagram as an outbound machine, but like I'll explain why it's not as good. It's because like if you look at the traditional, the problem is like finding the right person. And so like On Instagram alone, that means you scrape followers and then you run them through like bio keyword formulas in Excel, and then you filter for ICP signals in that bio. And then you send them like a pre-written cold DM, or maybe you like optimize it and like characterize it a little bit, or maybe even do like a Loom outreach strategy, which does in fact work well. And so with threads, like you literally find the right person in a business thread or like something like that. You don't need to scrape. You reply on their post or comment, and maybe you like some of their stuff, and so your name starts appearing, and then you're not a stranger anymore. It's like, oh, who is this person I keep seeing? And then you DM them on IG. I have gotten such a high hit rate. Like it's literally like I find someone that has an interesting offer. I engage a little bit. I'll reach out, and then they end up booking a call and getting closed as a client. Like I didn't have to send 100 DMs. I literally just sent one. There's so many different communities and so many different niches and threads, like fitness and like all this stuff. Like you can literally go in one of these communities, click on someone's like thread, and then look through the comments and like reply to them, and then click on their profile and then shoot them a DM. You know what I mean? So it's so easy to find high quality people on threads. After you reply and like have a conversation on threads and they see your name, you can literally cold DM them, right? It's not even like cold anymore. Brother, what's up? I found you on threads actually. Yo, what's up? Appreciate you connecting, blah, blah, blah. Ended up booking a call. Said I got you at 1 p.m. I sent him the Calendly link and he booked a call. And I have to blur some of these because some of them became clients. Hey, Laura, saw you on threads. What kind of marketing do you focus on, out of curiosity? And then she ended up wanting to hop on a call. So it's literally like this stuff works. So really all you need to do is post 2 to 3 posts a day. You do 10 to 20 replies, and then it funnels into your profile. So this is like another profile sort of funnel here. You get what I mean here though? It's like you go into a community and there's super high quality prospects already replying and already active. And so the key difference is it's like you're not just like mass cold DMing people hoping for a bite. You're already like having a conversation with them. And then you just continue the conversation off platform into Instagram DMs. It's the cheat code. Like you can get to 30, 40K a month just with this strategy. I promise you. Obviously, I'm not making any income claims here, but like if you are a competent person and you have the drive, you can do this and make 40K a month if you have the right offer. Like people are just so lazy and they don't understand all of the stuff that I just explained. Like they think that you just post content and that's it. And they hope this stuff happens. They hope they post and then someone clicks the link in the bio and schedules a call with them because they saw a piece of content. Like that, again, that is not how it works. The shadow funnel is completely different. It's like the moment you realize that every single component in here is optimized for a various buyer path, that's when everything sort of clicks and you're like, holy shit, this is how you build a long-term, capable, defensible business. It's like, this is why it's so important to optimize every single layer. And this is what we do. This is like literally what my business does is we come in and we literally optimize every single function. We optimize the entire ecosystem. We optimize the entire shadow funnel. It took me a while to find a name for it. Okay. But really it's coordinated buyer movement that's invisible to someone who is outside looking at it because they can't trace any pieces. That's why it's called the shadow funnel. But yeah, hopefully this is helpful. This is a full breakdown. So really, I hope you got some value from it. I will see you in the next one. Peace.